Hello, explorers, and welcome back to this Q&A episode of Unbroken podcast. I'm very glad you're here. I'm Alexandra Amor, and these are the shorter episodes on Mondays where I answer your questions. And given that this is a brand new show, and as I said last week, I don't have any questions or don't have any followers yet to submit questions. So, what I'm going to do is search back in my memory and ask the questions that I would have asked all those years ago or several years ago. It wasn't 100 years ago. So, if you have a question that you'd like to submit, I'd love to hear it. So, submit it to alexandraamor.com/question, and I'll have a look at those and answer them on upcoming Monday episodes. So today I want to answer the question, what should I do about my cravings? And this was something that I was, of course, really interested in. I have been interested in for the last 30 plus years until I found this understanding. And as I mentioned in last week's episode, it might be good to go back to that first Q&A episode. I talked about how when we have unwanted habits, we tend to use a lot of management strategies to deal with them. So they really feel like a problem, and we really try to get our arms around them and our big intelligent brains and manage those habits. So suppress them, control them, use willpower, use whatever tactics and strategies we can to control them and deal with them. And I talked about how exploring this understanding takes a completely different approach than that. So anything that we've tried in the past, so a diet or, measuring and weighing our food or distracting ourselves or anything like that, is really a management strategy, and we're looking in a completely different direction. So the short answer, given all that, the short answer to the question, what should I do about my cravings, is nothing. There's actually nothing you need to do about your cravings, about your overeating, about any maybe binge eating episodes that you're having. They're not a problem. And that's why there's nothing for you to do about them. The first thing I want to say, though, is that we are divinely designed. Hardly anyone points this out to us, but we are divinely designed to return ourselves to a state of equilibrium or peace or calm, whatever word you want to use to describe that feeling of just, being peaceful, being calm, being in a state of feeling very centered and grounded. All of that stuff is innate within us. We don't have to do anything to get ourselves back to that state. So even when we're really riled up, feeling dysregulated, I heard somebody use that word last weekend, feeling really upset or jangled, or like we really want to lean into using our habit because we've had a really hard day or whatever it is. It turns out there's actually nothing we need to do in order to come back to a place that feels really good within us, come back to a very calm, quiet, peaceful state. We are designed for that to happen automatically, to within our bodies and within our minds as well. So when our minds get really stirred up, they too are designed to automatically and without any interference from us return to a state of equilibrium. So conversely, what's happening when we're thinking about our habit and about how to control it, how to deal with our cravings, we're kind of adding more thinking to what's already there. So we're sort of stirring the pot up, shaking up the snow globe without we're doing that innocently. We're adding another layer of kind of busy thinking, sped up thinking to a situation that is already like that. So it sort of heightens that. And what we actually end up doing is making our interaction, I guess you could say, with the habit even worse than it was perhaps at the beginning. And so I'll use myself as a personal example. For 30 years, I tried to fix my overeating habit using all the self help tactics and strategies that you can mention. I mean, name something, and I've tried it. And in fact, the other day I realized one of the only things I didn't try was acupuncture. But I tried hypnosis, I tried diets, I tried meditation and mindfulness and uh, emotional freedom technique and EMDR, which is that sort of thing that you do in therapy. I held two paddles and it supposedly does something to your brain. I don't know. I can't explain it. Talk therapy and just on and on and on, all these sort of healthy, what I would consider to be healthy strategies to try to curb my overeating habit. And it only ended up getting worse. I mean, sometimes I saw a tiny bit of improvement, but the sort of willpower approach to trying to not eat my favorite foods just never worked. It never worked for more than a few days, maybe 4 or 5 at most. And again, I was doing this innocently. I was taking an approach that the only thing I knew how to do, as maybe you can understand, maybe you've been in that position yourself. And now looking back, I can really see that what I was doing was adding a lot more thinking to the sort of busy, heightened, sped up, really stirred up thinking that was already there. And the more I bounced from one strategy to another, the more that situation got sped up, stirred up even more. You think of when you're having a really heavy rainstorm and you think, wow, it can't really get much heavier than this. And then it does. That was sort of what it was like inside me with all the information that I had about how to manage my overeating. And then every time I failed, that too added more thinking to the whole situation. So I was just, I think I say in my book, it's not about the food. It was like, you know, digging a hole, trying to get out of a hole by digging it deeper. That's what it felt like. And it really seems that way to me now that I'm looking back at it. So that's one reason we don't, that my answer to this question was, what should I do about my cravings, is nothing. There's actually nothing you need to do. And let me say, I know that that answer is super, super scary because I've been there. I get it. What I would think if someone had said that to me as an answer to this question, I would have said, you're out of your mind. Like if I let go of the tight control that I have over this craving or my eating habits and just let it be whatever it wants to be, I'll weigh 600 pounds by the end of next Tuesday. I mean, it just, that answer would not have worked for me at all. And so I really get it. I really understand if you're having an objection to that. And so what I would say is just listen at this point. If that answer is completely freaking you out, there's nothing that you need to do. You don't need to change anything at the moment. I would really say just keep listening to the people who are talking about this understanding. Don't feel any pressure at all to change anything that you're doing, because what's going to happen if you continue to learn about this understanding is that you'll start to have insights. So one of the reasons that cravings aren't a problem, and maybe I'll get into this deeper in the next Q&A episode, is that they're actually a part of our divine design. And so we don't need to control them or manage them. We just need to see them for what they are. And the way that you'll see that is insightfully. and something will occur to you, some kind of fresh thinking. And the more that you stay in this conversation, read books by people who are exploring this understanding, listening to podcasts like you're doing right now, chatting with other people maybe who are part of this understanding, joining Facebook groups or whatever feels good to you, eventually you'll see things insightfully. And it's not just going to be one big giant insight like a bolt of lightning out of the sky. My experience has been that it's a series of smaller insights. And so once that starts to happen, then you'll realize that you can ease off the control that you have of your unwanted habit, and that doing nothing about it actually is the answer. But as I say, there's nothing you need to do about that right now. Today, listening is your best option at this moment. And yeah, so I think that's about all I have to say about that today, right now, for this Q&A episode. So yeah, next week, I think what I'll talk about is why we can be friends with our cravings, and how, for me, that was the big game changer when it came to letting go of an overeating habit. So I'll leave you there for now. If you have an interest in this understanding and want to explore it a little bit further, I encourage you to go to my website and sign up for the Freedom from Overeating and Other Habits video series that I've got there. It's free. It's a series of 5 videos. It's over 90 minutes of learning material. And you can find that at alexandraamor.com/start. So I'll leave you there. Take care. I'm sending you lots of love, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye.